Okay, so here's another example where we've got some options at the bottom to choose from in order to identify which is the best fit for the blank space. And so to begin with, we're going to scan across from left to right to see if we can see any obvious patterns that are jumping out at us. If we can't see anything obvious, then we start to focus in on one particular element and watch that element progress across the screen from left to right and see if we can identify what that one particular element might be doing. Now the black stands out more so than the grey for me, so I'm going to focus in on the black square or rectangle, and what it's actually doing is it's tumbling across the screen from left to right, but also from top to bottom. And when I say tumbling, what I mean is it's doing this sort of movement. So it's sort of pivoting off this point here and tumbling down, which would give us this next position or image here. Okay, and then from that position it tumbles the opposite way and continues down the page towards this bottom corner. So in other words, it's doing this now, so pivoting off this point and tumbling down that way, which would give us this next position here. Okay, I'm just going to get rid of that. Okay, so if we move across a little bit, so we've sort of gone, I'll just give us a bit more space here. We've done this, and then we're doing that, and then we're going to do this again, and then that, sort of tumbling across the screen. Let me get rid of that so we can bring things back to the middle. Okay, so given that we just did that, the next movement will be sort of underneath, so I guess over and under as it's tumbling. So that would mean that we're tumbling this way, like so, which is what we get here. Okay, so if we've recognized that pattern, forgetting about the grey for the moment before we can actually completely test that theory, we need to understand, if we were to go back one more step, which one of these would fit that. And hopefully what is reasonably obvious now with this particular tumbling theory is that it's only A that starts up quite high, okay, into that position there. So if it was A, then we would end up doing something like this, which would give us that position there. And so A so far is a very good fit. We need to test though what it is that the grey box is doing, because of course we haven't addressed that yet. So let me just get rid of this, but I'll leave the blue so you can see what's happening. Now if you were detecting that sort of movement with one shape, the first thing you would probably do is ask yourself whether the other shape is doing the same thing, and that's exactly what the other shape is doing. Okay, it's the same sort of movement, but it's in a slightly different pattern. This one's going, instead of from the top left, what this one's doing now is it's going, I'll just blow this one up so we can see. Just bring this over here a little bit more. So now it's going sort of the opposite way, it's tumbling up, so it's going this way to give us that image. And then again the bottom will come up, pivoting on this point here to give us that image. That's it. And then of course we would go up this way again to get the next image. Okay, and then this way again to get the next image. Okay, it's getting a little bit messy now, and certainly as they're crossing over each other, it may be a little bit harder to follow. But that's the movement that they're doing. They're sort of swinging one way and then swinging the other way in order to pivot or tumble across the screen from left to right. Now this position here is a perfect fit for that sequence continuing across the rest of the progression. So A is the correct answer for this one. So I hope that makes sense. Maybe a little bit awkward to follow that one, but hopefully that makes sense, and you can see that it's pivoting and tumbling across the screen in that particular pattern. Alright, and that's the answer for this one. It's A.